The blood footprints ended at the locked door, and that was the moment his hands began to shake. Raghav stood alone in the narrow apartment corridor, staring at the dark red marks smeared across the dusty floor tiles. They were barefoot prints, uneven, as if whoever made them had been limping or dragged by something unseen. The trail began near the staircase and moved slowly, deliberately toward a single door at the end of the hallway, a door that had been locked from the inside for years. The smell hit him next. Old iron, damp concrete, something rotten beneath it all. The lights above flickered weakly, casting long shadows that made the hallway feel longer than it was. This building had been abandoned for over a decade, yet the footprints looked fresh, still wet in places, still alive. Raghav was not supposed to be here. He had come only because Mira insisted on documenting the abandoned apartment for her research on urban decay. She stood a few steps behind him now, holding a small flashlight, her face pale but focused. She had seen the footprints too. Neither of them needed to say anything. The silence between them was heavy, broken only by the distant hum of the city outside and the faint dripping sound coming from somewhere inside the walls. Every few seconds, another detail felt wrong. The air near the locked room was colder. The paint around the doorframe had peeled inward, as if the wall itself had been breathing. The lock was old, rusted, and untouched. No scratches, no forced entry. The keyhole was clogged with dust, proving no one had opened it recently. Yet the footprints led directly into it. As Raghav leaned closer, he noticed something that made his stomach tighten. The footprints did not stop at the door. They continued, faintly on the other side of the wood, visible through thin cracks near the bottom, as if the blood had passed through solid matter. A sudden metallic creak echoed above them. The building settled, or something moved. Mira shifted closer, her flashlight beam trembling as it scanned the ceiling. The corridor felt narrower now, the walls pressing inward. Raghav became aware of his own breathing, loud and uneven, and the way the silence seemed to wait for it to stop. The locked room had a history. Years ago, this apartment belonged to a single tenant and never had visitors. Maintenance records showed complaints of strange smells and water leaks from that room alone. One day, the tenant vanished. The door was found locked from the inside. Police broke it open. The room was empty. No furniture, no personal items, no windows, just clean walls and a dry floor. The case was closed as a disappearance. The door was sealed shut afterward, never meant to be opened again. Another hook caught Raghav's attention. The blood footprints were not random. They were coming back. Some prints faced towards the door, others faced away from it, overlapping, confused, as if someone had gone in and tried desperately to leave. The deeper the red became near the door, the more distorted the shapes were. Toes stretched unnaturally long, heels pressed too deep into the floor. Mira's flashlight flickered, then steadied. The beam slipped through the crack under the door for just a second. Something inside moved, not a shadow, not a reflection, a slow shift, like a body adjusting its weight. The temperature dropped sharply. Raghav felt it on his skin, like standing too close to a freezer. The dripping sound grew louder, no longer distant, but directly behind the door. Thick, wet, rhythmic. The realization came too late. The blood was not leading into the room, it was leaking out. The lock clicked, not from their side. The sound was soft, almost polite, but it echoed through the corridor like a gunshot. Dust fell from the ceiling. The door remained closed, but the handle turned just slightly before stopping. The footprints on the floor began to darken, spreading slowly, filling the gaps between tiles, as if something unseen was stepping forward again and again, retracing its path. When the building was inspected weeks later, the corridor was found empty. No blood, no footprints, no signs of forced entry. The locked room remained sealed. But maintenance reports now mention a new complaint. A wet sound coming from inside the walls, and barefoot prints appearing every night outside a door that never opens.